Any chance you're on the clock, officer?
Nothing good ever comes out of you addressing me like that. Oh? And I see the Traveler and Paimon are here too.
Chevras, we meet again.
Well, things have been fine on my end. We were able to bring in a large number of recruits thanks to that film we made. I suppose the trade-off is that I'm now constantly getting stopped for autographs while out on patrol. Not ideal, if you ask me.
Well, you were one of the leading roles after all.
So, did something happen?
Indeed it did. I'll need you to come with me.
I only ever hear that phrase from you. Usually I'm the one asking people to do that.
Well, are you coming?
Not before I know what you're planning.
Have I ever made a bad call?
The better question is, have you ever made one that didn't violate proper procedure?
Okay. A man hired a group of bandits to mug my friend. I'm about to go teach him a lesson.
Are you sure this is something you should be telling the captain of the Special Patrol? It's getting hard to tell whether you're here to report a case or turn yourself in for one.
Neither. I'm requesting personal supervision from said captain, so I don't do anything too out of line.
Are you planning to?
Not if I can help it.
All right. Where is this person?
Follow me.
Just promise you'll start trying to keep yourself out of trouble.
Well, when trouble stops coming my way, I'll be sure to get on that. This should be the place. You all wait here. I'll go have a chat with him.
You know, Chevraz, Paimon gets the sense that you two are actually pretty close.
It's just as Chiori said. We got to know each other pretty well in our lines of work. You could call it a you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours sort of situation.
Does Chiori often need your help?
I'd say it's mutual. The Special Patrol needs her help quite often as well. We've got tough problems of our own. Getting people to talk, for example. The uniform, the musket, they're intimidating. Most people clam up the minute they see us. Lips sealed so tight, getting them to talk almost feels like trying to break into the fortress of Meripede. But put them in a clothing boutique, and they suddenly start gushing faster than the waters at the Fountain of Lucine.
Oh, is it because they're trying to show off or something?
Yep. People are vain creatures. They can't help but want to talk up new developments in their lives or show off how much they know about other people. And nothing brings out that sort of vanity quite like fashion. As a result, Chiori often picks up on all kinds of information in her shop. Most of her customers are members of the upper class, which means they're pretty much up to the gills in wealth and intel.
You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Huh, Paimon gets it now.
Exactly. I'm also here to ensure Chiori's safety. Those who make trouble for her also tend to be rich and powerful. And in some very rare cases, I'm forced to protect other people from Chiori herself. So, who got on her case this time? It's been a while since I last saw her that angry.
Oh, so this is what happened.
Huh? Uter, you say?
You've heard of him?
Yep. He's made trouble for Chiori several times already. He's fond of pretty much every dirty trick in the book. I heard that even the Maison Gardiennage issued him a warning due to his behavior. So he's back at it, huh? His funeral, I guess.
Whoa, what's this about a funeral all of a sudden?
I just meant that Uter's done for. Now bring it in, you two. Get right up close.
Sure, but why?
Because this is probably going to turn into one of those very rare cases I just talked about.
What are you doing? Stay away from me!
Has anyone ever taught you the definition of stupidity?
Huh?
Stupidity is doing the same meaningless thing over and over again. It appears you've forgotten what I told you before. So, allow me to refresh your memory. Lay off the dirty tricks! Oh, and if you dare lay your hands on my friend again, you can expect a far less pleasant landing next time.
Ahem. Chiori?
Officer, an assault's in progress! Please, officer, you've got to do something!
Of course. I'll do my utmost to investigate the situation. Unfortunately, I was chatting with this traveler and seemed to have missed what happened. Not to worry, though. If you'd allow me to search the scene, I'm sure I'll be able to collect some useful evidence. You don't mind, do you? There's nothing in there that would implicate you in any illegal activity, I would hope.
Forget it. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Ms. Chiori, I must also ask you to refrain from engaging in such disorderly conduct in the future, especially out in the open like this.
Apologies, officer. I guess you could say I'm just used to tossing out any trash I come across on the street.
You...
Is there anything else either of you have to say for yourselves?
That's all from me. I sincerely hope that today's events will never happen again.
We'll see about that.
Whoa, that scared the heck out of Paimon! How did he just go flying out like that?
You're too kind.
Now's not the time to be accepting compliments. What happened to not doing anything too out of line?
Oh, not if I could help it, is what I said. And I think I kept to that. I started with a verbal warning, but he displayed neither shame nor remorse. If anything, he kept running his mouth with insults and threats.
Insults and threats so bad that he deserved to be tossed out like a sack of trash?
Believe it or not, they were that bad. He deserved to get knocked down a peg. It's the only way to get him to stop.
You could have reported him to the guards.
Oh, I will. But it'll take some time for them to gather evidence. And he denied that he ever had anything to do with those bandits. I don't want anything else to happen during Fontaine Fashion Week. On top of that, if Kirara is going to continue delivering goods for me, the least I can do is guarantee her safety. Oh, that reminds me. There is another favor I'd like to ask of you today.
What a shame. I believe you've already used up your favor quota for the day.
Have I? Well, it's a good thing I was planning on taking an advance on tomorrow's quota then.
Don't you think you're maxed out on advances already?
I always pay you back in information, don't I? It's just like you said. You scratch my back, and I scratch yours.
Skilled at something doesn't make it a hobby. The wind knows me.
We're back.
You were gone for an awfully long time. Oh, please tell me nothing bad happened.
There's nothing to worry about. All you need to know is that you'll never have to worry about someone in Fontaine messing with your deliveries again.
Sorry, Chiori. I didn't mean to cause you so much trouble.
What are you talking about? You didn't do anything wrong. Those greedy bandits are to blame, along with a certain someone who doesn't know when to lay off the petty tricks. The next time you need to leave the city, call the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. They'll escort you half of the way, and the Spina di Rosula can take the second half. With that sort of escort, the next time you make a delivery, those treasure hoarders won't go anywhere near your goods. Unless, of course, it's to offer to carry them for you.
Good one, Chiori.
I'm being serious. You know me. If I bring something up, you can assume it's already a done deal. You're going back to Inazuma tomorrow, right?
Wait, you don't mean...
I've already spoken to the captain of the Special Patrol. As discussed, the patrol's going to take a small detour during their daily training tomorrow. As for Navia, I'll give her a heads up in a bit.
There's really no need. I'm just a simple courier. I don't need to be surrounded by a bunch of armed guards. Or ones with sunglasses, for that matter. Don't you think this is a bit much?
Well, you certainly shouldn't count on such a procession for every trip you make to Fontaine. It's just a one-off thing, for my own peace of mind. It'll also show those guys what'll happen to those who dare to mess with my friends.
Well, if you think it's a good idea, Traveler, then I guess it's fine.
Well, with the bad guys out of the way and your goods safely delivered, everything should be good to go for Fontaine Fashion Week, right?
I believe so. I'll try to churn out a few more outfits over the next few days. I've heard a lot of suppliers will be participating this year.
Paimon's gonna take a guess and say suppliers are super important.
But of course, they supply us designers with funding, equipment, factory access. You have to work with them if you want to become a truly renowned fashion house. That's also why this year's Fashion Week is so important to me.
But isn't your brand already really famous, Chiori? Your clothes are so pretty and so nice to wear. I can't help but brag about them to my customers whenever I get the chance.
Even so, I would imagine there are still people who've never heard of the Chiori brand, yes?
Well, I mean, with the amount of places that I deliver to, it's only natural that some people from other nations haven't heard of it.
Then it's still not famous enough. My goal is to make the Chiori brand renowned throughout all of Teyvat.
All of it? Your business would have to get pretty huge then.
Wait, would that mean I could just go to any Chiori branch on the continent to get my clothes fixed? It has been pretty inconvenient having to come to Fontaine every time I need to get them patched up.
Alternatively, of course, you could just be a bit more careful with them. They're already about as durable as I can make them.
Okay, I'll admit, they do get snagged on branches pretty often, but I can't help it. It's hard to be careful about that sort of thing when you're trying to take a nice nap in a tree.
Well, if that's your dream, Chiori, then we should do our best to make it a reality. Is there anything we can do to help out with Fashion Week?
I'm sure I could think of something.
Ooh, what is it? What is it?
Why don't you come to my shop tomorrow and model for me? Simply put, you'll serve as my living mannequins.
Oh, so we get to try on some of your clothes? Got it!
Seeing them off the rack will also give me the chance to make some small adjustments to the stitching and the silhouette of the designs.
Sounds easy enough.
No need. We've already booked the models for that. If you like them, though, feel free to visit the boutique and see if anything catches your eye. I'll even give you a special discount.
Ooh, sounds great! Paimon was just starting to get curious about all this design stuff.
Then we have a deal. You'll model some formal wear, Traveler, and I don't know. Paimon here will show off some kids' designs. I'll see you both tomorrow then.
Yep, sounds good. Wait, kids' clothes? Paimon told you already she's not a little kid.
Coming up, my husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
Speaking of clothes, do yours happen to need any mending right now, Kirara?
Well, since you asked, Chiori, there's this part around my waist.
Oh, need a bit of letting out around the middle.
No! It's a tear. Those bad guys did it.
So hard to pick the perfect gift.
There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
So hard to pick the perfect gift. So hard to pick the perfect gift.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up.
So hard to pick the perfect.
Wherever in this world I roam,
Replica of the
I carry memories of my home.
from the show.
This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
So hard to pick the perfect gift.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
So hard to pick the perfect gift.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up.
So
My
hard to pick the
husband
perfect
promised to
gift.
get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up.
So hard to
My
pick the
husband
perfect gift.
promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
This scenery is wonderful.
Fashion Week is coming up.
Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
A replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
So hard to pick the
Fashion
perfect
Week is
gift.
coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a eye-catching outfit from the show.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade,
Fashion Week.
it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
It's so hard to pick the perfect gift.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most
So
eye-catching
hard to
outfit
pick
from
the
the show.
perfect gift.
This scenery is wonderful.
Fashion Week is coming
Surely
up.
enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
So hard to pick the perfect gift.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up.
Wherever in this world I roam,
Promised to get me
I carry memories of my home.
eye-catching outfit from the show.
This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Perfect gift.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
It's so hard to pick the perfect gift.
There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
It's so hard to pick the perfect gift.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to
Wherever
get me
in
a
this world I
replica of
roam,
the most
I carry
eye-catching
memories of my
outfit from the show.
home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching
Hard to
outfit
pick the
from the
perfect
show.
gift.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
It's so hard to pick the perfect gift.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show.
This scenery is wonderful.
Pick the perfect gift.
Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit
There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching outfit from the show. Fashion Week is coming up. My husband promised to get me a replica of the most eye-catching
You're here early. I haven't even opened the shop yet.
Wait, has Kirara left already?
Yep, with the special patrol. Bright and early.
Did everything go all right on the road?
I believe so. The patrol makes for quite the entourage. The way they marched forward with Kirara in the center, you'd think she was some sort of VIP. For the second leg, the Spina also came with a pretty large group, led by Navia herself. They took care to clear the path beforehand as well. Kirara won't so much as step on a single stray rock on her journey. I even heard that Navia decided out of the blue to make a batch of macarons as a going-away gift for Kirara. An excellent souvenir to remember Fontaine by, I'd say.
Sounds like Navia really got into it.
My thoughts exactly. She even lamented the fact that she didn't have time to prepare something even fancier. I'm pretty sure she can't wait for another escort opportunity to come her way.
You know, now that you mention Navia, Paimon thinks the two of you are actually pretty similar. You say what you mean, and when you have an idea, you really hit the ground running.
I suppose that's why we're such good friends. Navia has a certain resilience about her. It's part of who she is. No matter what comes her way, she never bows down in the face of adversity. That sort of determination and courage is something I really admire. That same spirit is the true vision of my brand. When she first mentioned commissioning an outfit for my boutique, well, I'm sure you can imagine my excitement.
It's like finding the perfect brand ambassador, huh?
Indeed. Customers pay attention not just to the clothes, but also to the figures in society who wear said clothes. People like to copy the styles of those they look up to.
Huh. And here Paimon thought all that mattered was for the clothes to look cute.
Fashion is about more than just looks, my dear. Especially if you've got your sights set on a market the size of Teyvat. Well, would you look at the time?
Oh yeah. Come on, let's get down to business. We're here to model.
Indeed. Give me a moment while I go retrieve some fabrics and sample outfits. Why don't you help me set up the shop displays in the meantime?
Set them up? How exactly?
Just carefully organize the ready-to-wear clothes with an eye toward their types and styles. This way, we can guarantee that the customers will see something different every day.
Whoa, there sure is a lot that goes into running a store.
Well then, I'll leave the displays to you.
So, we just need to put all the clothes with similar styles